Shri Mahant Swami Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I heartily welcome all the honorable dignitaries and participants here on the virtual platform for the national webinar. The topic of today's national webinar is leadership skills. As you know very well, the college has been conducting a mega series of national and international webinars on the golden jubilee year of the institution. The college has conducted till now hundreds of webinars, and the theme of webinar series is Women Empowerment, Women Dignity and Environmental Conservation. The objectives of webinar series are to exchange knowledge, to enrich knowledge, to have intellectual discussions on the topics, to find out answers to questions and solutions to problems. The webinar series benefited the students, researchers, teachers, knowledge seekers, and people from different walks of life. The webinar series is going on very successfully and smoothly. The mastermind behind the webinar series is the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. The webinar series is also going on successfully due to the moral encouragement of the institution. In the beginning of this webinar, I welcome the chairperson, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. Today I am very pleased to make you know that we have Honorable Dignitary RIMA ADIKA ma'am from Celebal Technology India, Learning and Resource Development Head. She is going to enlighten us on the topic leadership skills. On behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I heartily welcome you ma'am as an invited speaker and chief guest for this national webinar. I also welcome all organizing committee members, Vice Principal Dr. S.D. Misal sir, Junior College Supervisor Ravindra Karanje sir, MCVC Supervisor Praveen Udge sir, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, Dr. Sudhir Garad sir, Ambadas Khillare sir, Dr. Patwari sir and Dr. Wadkar sir. I know that audience is eagerly waiting for the keynote speech by the honorable speaker, but we all will have the pleasure to listen the introduction of today's invited speaker. So I request Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am for the introduction of the chief guest. Please ma'am, welcome.
Thank you sir. Good evening everyone. You are welcome to this grand national and international webinar series. On occasion of Golden Jubilee year of the college, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa has organized a wonderful grand knowledge sharing webinar series with the aim of women empowerment and women dignity. So I am very thankful to respected principal for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Many special thanks goes to all the respected organizing committee members, and many special thanks goes to all the respected participants. Those are joining daily from all over India and abroad also, and they are making this series a very successful series. So I am here to introduce today's keynote speaker, Honorable RIMA ADIKA ma'am, Celebal Technology India, Learning and Resource Development Head. Title of speech is Leadership Skills. Ma'am work on learning needs and learning team on training requirements and active learning projects. She is a partner with over 50 plus project managers to ensure accuracy and engage with project team members to ensure accuracy and timeliness of time entry. She manages training operations for 300 interns, working closely with Databricks Partner Academy and Microsoft for training and assessment of Databricks engineer. Her education is BTech in Hotel Management and Catering Technology, LAD College, Nagpur. Masters in English Literature from Jabalpur. B.Ed, KPMG Future Leaders Learning and Development Program. She achieved World Education Summit Award for Innovation in Teaching Pedagogy. Haryana Regional School Theatre Shri Awards for Best Play. She got Best Branch Award, Gujarat Samman Best Children's Play Award, etc. So after this brief introduction, I would like to request today's keynote speaker, Honorable RIMA ma'am, please start your presentation. Thank you. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anita and Mr. Karat. Thank you so much to Mr. Bedkar who connected with me on LinkedIn, and this opportunity came. Also, if you are comfortable in Hindi, I'll try Hindi, English, Marathi mix. Big thank you to Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya for giving me this opportunity. I'm very, very grateful to be a part of something that is so unique. ये इतना अलग प्लेटफॉर्म है कि अगर हमारे एनिवर्सरी है, गोल्डन जुबली है, तो हम क्या करें। और बहुत लोग बहुत कुछ करते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपने ज्ञान को शेयर करना, नॉलेज शेयरिंग को एक मिशन बनाया है, तो मैं आपको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करती हूँ, क्योंकि नॉट ओनली एज अ गवर्नर ऑफ नॉलेज बट एज टीचर्स, एज पीपल हु ओन नॉलेज, आपने ये बोला कि मैं ये इस चीज़ को आगे बढ़ाऊंगा, ये एक बहुत बड़ी बात है। और मैं इसके लिए आप सबको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करती हूँ कि आपने इतना बड़ा मिशन और इतना बड़ा गोल अपने सामने रखा। आज मैं एक बहुत यूनिक चीज़ के बारे में बात करने वाली हूँ, जिसका नाम है लीडर। सबसे दुनिया का हैरान परेशान इंसान लीडर होता है, जिसने कभी सोच लिया कि मुझे कुछ करना है। I'll start my presentation and then let us go further and discuss what leadership actually is. और मैं चाहूँगी कि everybody participates in this. I would like all of you to become a participant on this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, can somebody tell me who is a leader? आप
मैम जो व्यवस्था को चला सके,
जो एक व्यवस्था को चला सके, ठीक है। और क्या होता है, और लीडर क्या होता है?
Who able to promote cooperative learning and coordinate between all the members of the organization.
Correct. So he collaborates and cooperates with all the people to lead them towards a mission or the vision of the organization. ये होता है एक लीडर। चलो कुछ थॉट लीडर्स को देखते हैं। कौन बताएगा कि ये चारों कौन है? Who are these people?
Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi ji,
Correct.
and Nelson Mandela.
Right.
Martin Luther King.
And Martin Luther King. So दुनिया में इन चार लोगों को बहुत बड़े थॉट लीडर्स माना जाता है, और इनकी लीडरशिप को मतलब they are one of the transformational leaders बोला जाता है इनको. So why do you think Why are they called transformational leaders? क्यों क्यों बोला जाता है? अच्छा आप मुझे बताओ, हम तो महात्मा गांधी जी को इतने क्लोजली जानते हैं, मतलब हम सब we all connect to Mahatma Gandhi as our own father of the nation. Can you tell me what did he teach to the world?
Non-violence.
करेक्ट. सारी दुनिया वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 और वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 में लड़ाई लड़ रही थी और लोगों की जान जा रही थी. तब एक आदमी खड़े होकर ये कहता है कि वॉर सिर्फ लड़ाई लड़ने या किसी को मार गिराने या किसी को किल करना, मर्डर करने से नहीं होता. लीडर इज अ लीडर व्हेन ही नोज हाउ टू फाइट, एंड आई विल फाइट विद नॉन वायलेंस. टुडे इन एवरी हिस्ट्री बुक ऑफ द world, whether it is Japan or whether it is America, there is a chapter on Mahatma Gandhi and India's non-violent win of their independence, of their freedom. Let's say when we see Albert Einstein, we see a man who said that there is something called as time relativity and there is something called as time travel. इसके पहले किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं था कि टाइम में ट्रैवल किया जा सकता है. उन्होंने एक ऐसा सिद्धांत बताया जिसमें वो बोलते हैं कि आप टाइम में ट्रैवल कर सकते हो. और उन्होंने, क्या हम टाइम में, आज भी हम ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते, बट हाँ उनके पास वो थियोरी लिखी हुई है. टाइम रिलेटिविटी का उनका पेपर दुनिया में सबसे जाना माना पेपर है. नेल्सन मंडेला, अफ्रीका के ऐसे कॉन्टिनेंट के ऐसे इंसान जिन्होंने ये सोचा कि मैं ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, ब्लैक और वाइट का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं सहूंगा, मैं आवाज उठाऊंगा, मैं इस चीज को नहीं फॉलो करता. वैसे ही MLK और मार्टिन लूथर किंग वर्कड ऑन ब्लैक राइट मूवमेंट्स एंड ही हैज changed the constitution. Just like Dr. Ambedkar wrote the constitution, MLK also wrote so many theories and papers on black right movement. So these are the people who initiated change, who were motivators, who were guides, who were communicators. They took up a problem and they sought a solution. And that is why these people are sometimes also called transformational leaders in their own right. तो पर जो हम लीडर की बात करते हैं तो वो लीडर बहुत कुछ होता है. He's a guide, he's a motivator, is a helper, is a support. He, she is also a visionary and he, she is also a communicator. Anything we can add to this? Can anybody give one or two adjectives that we can add to it? What is a leader?
They have the beautiful ability to delegate also.
Yes, great delegation skill is absolutely correct. Anything else? They are also great influencers, right? Now here's a small story. एक आर्मी कैप्टन था जिसके कमांड में 200 सोल्जर्स थे, but he never left his room. He never uttered a word to the men and women in his unit. वो ऑफिस में बैठकर ही अपना काम करता था, क्योंकि रूटीन ही ये थी कि कोई किसी और सबऑर्डिनेट से जो उनके लेवल में, उनसे रिपोर्टिंग लेवल पे है, उनसे बात ना करें. सो बाय डिफॉल्ट उनके ट्रूप ने उनको कभी देखा नहीं था, वो सिर्फ ऑर्डर फॉलो करते थे. क्या वो इंसान एक लीडर है? आपको क्या लगता है? कैन एनीबडी टेल मी व्हाई इज ही अ लीडर और इज ही रियली अ लीडर? कैन वन ऑफ यू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन?
No, he's not a leader.
No, he's not a leader. And why is he not a leader? Why do you think he's not a leader?
Because he just gives the order to be followed. He's not listening to his troop.
Absolutely right. He is simply giving orders that needs to be followed. There is no interaction between him and his team, and that is why such a person is not a leader. Such a person is called a manager. So there can be many managers in this world, but there can be only few leaders. There is a marked difference between a manager and a leader. एक मैनेजर जो होता है, जो 50 लोग 40 लोग 10 लोग के ऊपर आता है as a team person, is only managing his team, is not a leader. I am the team leader. No, the team leader is completely into the process of team building, team communication, team delegation, team understanding, team work, and therefore that person is a leader. So what leadership is not? Leadership क्या बिल्कुल नहीं है. Leadership वो नहीं है कि अगर किसी को ज्यादा पे मिल रही है तो वो लीडर है, या लीडरशिप वो नहीं है कि उसका अगर बड़ा टाइटल है, सीनियर ऑफिसर, ऐसा कोई अगर टाइटल है तो वो लीडर है. नो, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. इट इज नॉट एन एट्रीब्यूट ऑल्सो, इट इज नॉट एन एडजेक्टिव कि बहुत हंस खेल के सबसे बात करता है, एक्सट्रोवर्ट है, किसी से भी बात कर लेता है, किसी से भी जाके कुछ भी बोल देता है. अगर वो एक एक्सट्रोवर्ट पर्सन है तो भी वो लीडर नहीं है. और अगर वो एक डोमिनेटिंग पर्सन है कि ये काम तो आप लोग को करना पड़ेगा, वो काम आपने नहीं किया, अगर वो ये भी कर रहा है तो भी वो लीडर नहीं. अ मैनेजर इज नॉट अ लीडर. अ मैनेजर इज नेवर अ लीडर. देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ मैनेजर एंड अ लीडर. प्लीज स्टॉप मी जहां आपको कुछ ना समझ में आए तो आई कैन गिव यू एग्जाम्पल्स एंड रीजन फॉर इट and help you out with it. So far we are going very simply into the situational leadership theories. So leadership क्या होता है? Leadership आपका influence है. जब आप नहीं भी हो तब भी लोग आपके सिद्धांतों को फॉलो करते हैं. Just like for example महात्मा गांधी. महात्मा गांधी ने अगर एक नॉन वायलेंस का सिद्धांत वर्ल्ड के ऊपर रखा, आज इतने सालों बाद, many decades have passed away, but his work, his vision is alive in all of us, and that is the influence of that person. उनकी कोई अथॉरिटी नहीं है जैसे हिटलर की अथॉरिटी या किसी और पर्सन की अथॉरिटी है. नो, देयर इज नो अथॉरिटी इन्वॉल्व्ड. यू आर फ्री टू इवन क्रिटिसाइज समबडी, जिससे कि ये तो उन्होंने बहुत गलत किया था, बट उनका सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस के लिए उनको देयर इज नो नीड फॉर डायरेक्ट रिपोर्टीज. उनको कोई डायरेक्ट रिपोर्टीज की जरूरत नहीं है. कोई भी कहीं भी बैठा हुआ इंसान उनके सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस में आ सकता है. देयर इज नो मेंशन ऑफ पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट और एट्रीब्यूट्स. नाउ फॉर बीइंग अ लीडर यू डोंट नीड टू बी वेरी हैंडसम, वेरी स्मार्ट, वेरी गुड लुकिंग. यू नो how it happens on Instagram or Facebook that somebody who is continuously putting pictures and pictures of very happy faces is suddenly a very popular person. But social influence is not about personality trait. It is not about your attribute. Social influence is also not about your authority. Social influence is what is your vision and how your vision is accepted unanimously with your followers. That is called leadership. So can you tell me who's a leader here? Can this person be a leader? Somebody who's cold, बहुत नेचर से सबसे बात करने वाले इंसान नहीं है. एनालिटिकल, बहुत एनालिटिकल है, ये कम है, वो ज्यादा है, ये क्यों है, इतना है, ये नहीं होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए. एम्बिशियस है, आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, अपने लिए सपने हैं, लेकिन कंजर्वेटिव है. उनका एक दायरा है कि इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए, इससे ज्यादा बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. या ऐसा पर्सन लीडर होना चाहिए जो वार्म है, इंटेलिजेंट है, थॉटफुल है, सबके बारे में सोच रहा है, मॉडर्न है. आप बता सकते हैं इन दोनों में से लीडर कौन बन सकता है? Which of these two categories person can be a leader?
A person who is warm, intelligent, thoughtful and modern.
Do you think so? Anybody who's always analytical, ambitious, conservative can also be a leader. And in today's world, almost all world leaders, almost all corporate heads like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, everybody is cold, analytical, ambitious and conservative. ये आज की जिंदगी की सच्चाई है. And the best part is that we always think, और मैंने आपको पिछले स्लाइड में भी समझाया था कि फिजिकल एट्रीब्यूट, फिजिकल एडजेक्टिव्स की वो बहुत अच्छा है और सबसे खूब स्माइल करके बात करता है, इसलिए वो लीडर है. नहीं, वो इसलिए लीडर है कि उसके पास विजन है. क्या आपको लगता है कि people who are great people like Albert Einstein for example सिर्फ अपने स्टडी में रूम में बैठते थे और अपना सारी जिंदगी अपने नोट्स उन्होंने अपनी थियरीज लिखी. उनको बहुत बार सोशली रिटार्डेड भी बोला जाता था, बहुत ओपनली बोलते थे कि समथिंग इज रॉन्ग विद हिम. बट टुडे ही इज वन ऑफ द टॉप thought leaders and considered a god in science. Therefore, a leader can be anybody. A leader can even be an analytical, ambitious and a conservative person, and a leader can be a warm, intelligent, thoughtful and modern person. There are physical attributes, personal adjectives have no meaning to being a leader. A leader is a person with a vision and a goal. That's it. Okay, so what is leadership? So there is a very common definition that goes around leadership. It is called leadership is a process of social influence that maximizes others' efforts towards achievement of a goal. और ड्वाइट आइजनहावर ने ये हमें डेफिनेशन दिया है. इसमें ये कहते हैं कि दूसरों से सबसे ज्यादा काम लेने वाला और गोल को अचीव करने वाला जो अपने सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस से काम करा ले वो लीडर होता है. सो एक चीज जो हम बिल्कुल चाहिए वो है इन्फ्लुएंस, कि उनके पास एक स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्फ्लुएंसिंग पावर होना चाहिए और काम निकालने का तरीका आना चाहिए, और उस काम निकालने के तरीके से उनको कोई गोल को अचीव करने का आइडिया होना चाहिए. अगर वो पर्सन ये कर लेता है तो दैट पर्सन is called a leader, or that process of social influence, maximizing the effort of others, the achievement of a goal is what is leadership as a process. Here we see this, I think I'm missing out on some. says who's a leader. लीडर आपसे अलग नहीं, लीडर आप ही के जैसा है और हमारे ही जैसा है. बस ये है कि the leader is standing in front and he knows where to go, and rest of the fishes or the school of fish is following him. That is what a leader is all about. Now here is a person that we know and we understand him very very well. We know him as सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन, और इनका जन्म 5 सितंबर को हुआ था, और थैंकफुली और इनकी दया से for so many years we get a half day on Teachers Day. We celebrate Teachers Day. There is a day called Teachers Day in India. Can you tell me why is he so important to us? What did he do? What was the power of this person that we celebrate his birth anniversary as Teachers Day? Can anyone tell me that?
Yeah, ma'am. He is a man of philosophy and first teacher of Department of Philosophy of Indian, first philosopher of the India.
Yes.
and a good teacher, so good man of value. Okay.
Absolutely. So he is a Bharat Ratna. We all know that because he was one of the first person who took Indian philosophy, Indian Veda, Indian tradition, Hindu religion, and taught that to the Western world. So, most of you know, or I hope you know, that he was a professor in Oxford University on ethics and religion. और इन्होंने फॉरेनर्स को इंडिया के बारे में पढ़ाया. जो हम कहते हैं ना कि आपको एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. देयर इज आजकल कोरोना के बाद में there is in restaurants across America and Europe, there is a new cold drink that has come, and that cold drink is called turmeric milk, and it's a very popular day drink like coffee, chai, other teas. It is also had with a lot of fun, and turmeric milk is considered to be a very healthy drink. But can anybody tell me how long has turmeric milk been a part of Indian tradition? I don't know. I mean, thousands and thousands of years, our mothers have made haldi wala milk in our lives, and in Indian diaspora ने हमेशा हल्दी दूध को कोट किया, कोई यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन में नहीं देखा. It was one of the things that we had when we were ill or sick. But today, it is called a very curing, healthy, soft drink kind of a thing. So आज वेस्ट हमको रियलाइज करता है कि हम क्या है, हमारा ट्रेडिशन क्या है, पर वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर, एक्सेप्ट क्या कर रहे हैं, ट्यूमरिक मिल्क को एक्सेप्ट कर. सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन ने जब अराउंड 1930-31 जब ऑक्सफोर्ड में अपनी जर्नी शुरू करी, तब उनका भी इंडियन ट्रेडिशन, इंडियन फिलॉसफी कोई नहीं समझ में आता था. किसी को समझ में नहीं आता था कि ये कितना डीप है और कितना मीनिंगफुल चीजें लिखी हुई है. लेकिन बिकॉज ऑफ सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन, सो मेनी पीपल अंडरस्टूड दैट दिस इज अ ब्यूटिफुल रिलीजन. बट उसके अलावा जब राधाकृष्णन जी वापस इंडिया आए एंड ही सेटल्ड इन आंध्र प्रदेश, he worked on education, and he worked, and it was around in the 1930s जब सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन ने ये बोला कि यूजीसी जैसा एक कमीशन होना चाहिए जो सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज को मैप करेगा. उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि सारे स्कूल्स में स्टेट का होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि सारे स्कूल का स्टेट एफिलिएशन होना चाहिए, क्योंकि उनकी लैंग्वेजेस अलग अलग है. उन्होंने ये भी बहुत बार कहा है कि टीचर्स का पे ग्रेड अपग्रेड करना और टीचर्स के पे वेजेस पे ध्यान देना हमारा बहुत बड़ा काम है. जब टीचर्स को अच्छी पे मिलेगी तब जाके इंडिया का टीचर्स अच्छे से पढ़ाई करेगा. दिस पर्सन who is a vice chancellor of so many universities is one of the unique people who has been nominated for Nobel Prize 27 times. And as teachers, you must know and understand कि 27 बार नोबेल प्राइज के लिए, नोबेल प्राइज जिसमें सिर्फ अवार्ड मिलने का नाम जाना मतलब लाइफ टाइम का अचीवमेंट है, उसमें आपको 27 बार आपको नॉमिनेट किया क्योंकि आपने ऐसी चीजें लिख के चले. He has been 2 times the vice president of the country. He was the 2nd president of India. As I told you, professor of Oxford University, vice chancellor of Banaras Hindu University and a Bharat Ratna. लेकिन इन सब के आगे वो एक ऐसे इंसान थे जो अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ जुड़े हुए. जैसे जैसे हम अपने लाइफ में अपने गोल्स की तरफ बढ़ते जाते हैं, हम अपने टारगेट ऑडियंस से मिलना बंद कर देते हैं. हम जब प्रिंसिपल हो जाते हैं, जब हम डिपार्टमेंट हेड हो जाते हैं, जब हम काउंसलर हो जाते हैं, चांसलर हो जाते हैं, तो हमको लगता है डीन हो जाते हैं, तो हम सोचते हैं कि क्या स्टूडेंट से क्या मिलना. बट एट द funeral of Radhakrishnan ji, hundreds of his students took his body in a procession for cremation. And I think that is influence. Influence ये नहीं है कि आपको ये अवार्ड मिला, ये of course ये है, ये बहुत बड़े ऑनर की बात है, लेकिन जब 100 of students said कि ये इंसान हमारी फैमिली है, and we will be a part of his cremation. This is something that shows the influence of that person as a teacher. This is the reason why we celebrate his birthday and we consider him one of the top education leaders of this country. And as teachers, we must know more about his life and the work that he has done. So here is a leader जिन्होंने अपने इन्फ्लुएंस में इतने सारे काम किए और अपने इन्फ्लुएंस में इन्होंने इतने ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स बनाए जो इनके मतलब दीवाने थे, जो कहते हैं ना, लाइक हाउ शाहरुख खान हैज अ फॉलोइंग. And at that point of time, there was no social media, there was no media circus, there was no Twitter. And at that point of time, having thousands and thousands of people feel कि I am connected to this person is a great achievement. And that is why Radhakrishnan ji is a great influencer leader. अगर हम एजुकेशन में लीडरशिप स्टाइल देखेंगे तो वो 4 तरीके की होती है. सर्वेंट स्टाइल लीडरशिप, ट्रांजैक्शनल स्टाइल लीडरशिप, इमोशनल स्टाइल लीडरशिप और ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल स्टाइल लीडरशिप. और इसके बारे में मैं आपको बहुत क्विकली डेफिनेशन दूंगी. आपको वैसे तो नाम से ही समझ में आएगा. सर्वेंट स्टाइल लीडरशिप ये होती है कि मैं इस काम को कैसे कंप्लीट करूं, मैं अगर मुझे कोई काम मिला है तो अब ये काम खत्म कैसे होगा और ये काम कैसे हम जल्दी से अच्छे से कर सकते हैं. तो उसे कहते हैं सर्वेंट लीडर. हाउ कैन आई हेल्प. और उनका सबसे बड़ा काम होता है कि मैं उन्हें हेल्प करके मैं अपने टीम को हेल्प करूं कि वो ये काम कंप्लीट कर ले. तो लीडरशिप कोई अच्छी बुरी नहीं होती. सबसे पहले तो आपको ये समझना है कि लीडरशिप सारी अच्छी होती है क्योंकि वो एक लीडर को बाहर निकालती है. सर्वेंट स्टाइल लीडरशिप में that person is very empathetic, he's a very good listener, and he's a selfless person. His objective is, I have to complete the task given in front of me, and I am going to do the same thing as my team is doing. And one of the great servant leaders of our time is Mother Teresa, who decided to, help the orphans in Calcutta, and she was involved day in and day out looking after orphans, leprosy patient, ill, sick people in Calcutta. She was herself at the forefront of everything. This is called servant style leadership. Then there is something called as transactional style leadership, in which आपने अगर एक काम दिया है तो वो काम आपको कंप्लीट चाहिए. जैसे कि अगर मैंने बोल दिया कि कल शाम को मुझे ये शीट कंप्लीट करके हो ना, मुझे ये क्वेश्चन पेपर कल शाम को चाहिए ही चाहिए, तो अगर 4 लोगों में से एक बंदा जो है, एक जो one person has not submitted that, you will by exception punish that person. और पनिशमेंट का स्टाइल मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि आप उसको पनिशमेंट देंगे, आप बाय एक्सेप्शन उसको एक्सक्लूड कर दोगे. कोई भी कॉन्वर्सेशन से आप ध्यान नहीं दोगे उन पे क्योंकि उसने आपकी बात नहीं रखी. दैट इज कॉल्ड ट्रांजैक्शनल लीडरशिप, where you control the situation and when you like and when you want to be in control of everything. Just like, and Bill Gates is a very fine example of transactional leadership because Bill Gates meets everybody who is a part of his team and other reportees. And Bill Gates will question you till you are, you either you say that, sorry sir, I don't understand, or you say something by exception. So he's a great leader and he's a wonderful founder of a great company, yet somewhere his style is also known as transactional style of leadership. Then there are people who are emotional leaders, and the best example of emotional leader is your nani or your aji or your ai, and that person will drive you to take an emotional decision. Like, are you going to her wedding? And you will say, yes, I am going to the wedding. She will tell you, no, I will not go to the wedding. This thing happened. And suddenly you are thinking, yes, I never thought of this. And now my Aji is not going to the wedding. I will also not go to the wedding. This is called as emotional style of leadership, which I think is very, very prominent in our Indian families, and best examples are out of Indian family, where emotions are used to drive you forward or backward. And Amazon head is known as a very emotional leader. He's not only transformational, transactional, and a servant leader, but Jeff Bezos is considered an emotional leader, because if there is any mistake that happens on Amazon's part, it is Jeff who has freely given his email ID to everyone. That if you think that there is something wrong with my product, just write to jeff@amazon.com. I will see to it that you receive the right. He is so emotional about his service. He's so emotional about his product that he's delivering. He's also considered one of the top emotional leaders. Then there is something called as transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is, there is a black person, there is probably a white person, and this should not happen. Everybody is equal. And therefore, I will change the dynamics of this society, this community. There are Harijans, and then there is a general class. So I will change the world for the Harijans, and I will change this forever for my society, for my community, for my country. What is best for everyone? People who are into transformational leadership are excellent in self-management. And what do you mean by self-management is, they don't have any ego clash. They have complete control on their emotion. They can never be sad and they can never be angry. They will never answer out of an emotional situation. They will always work, think hard, be quiet, answer in yes or no, almost in a cold manner. Then there is a lack of ego. They don't have ego issues. कि ये मेरे से बड़ा हो जाएगा, वो मेरे से छोटा हो जाएगा, मैं इस कंट्री का प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं बना तो क्या होगा? No, that was never their intention or thought. Their intention is always who is best, what is best for my people, what is best for my society, what is best for my community. And those kind of transformational leaderships are visible in Nelson Mandela and Mahatma. Now you must be thinking that these are all big names, and suppose if I am some person, I am looking, यार मैं तो servant leader भी हूँ और मैं emotional leader भी हूँ और मैं थोड़ा सा transformational leader भी हूँ. So there is a little bit of everything in everyone. शायद transactional leadership आप में ज़्यादा है और emotional leadership आप में कम है. This is something that you need to figure out on your own. But there is some kind of leadership ability in everyone. Everyone is a leader inside and everyone can lead. The thing is that when you start dedicating yourself to the goal every day, it's just like a writer wanting to write. When the writer says, I can write, he or she has the ability to write. But the day they start writing realistically with words is the day they become a writer. It's the same with leader. When they start working on leadership elements like vision, goals, that is the time when they become true leaders. So far, are you understanding what I'm saying? So far, are we clear on what has been the journey?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. So this is a very popular trust equation that is used in our business operations, and whenever there is a leader in place, the trust factor with that leader is very, very high. If you want to become a leader, then this is something that you should look at. You need to build a lot of trust with other people. And how does that happen? How does trust happen? अगर मुझे 10 लोगों का लीडर बनना है, तो उन लोगों का मेरे ऊपर ट्रस्ट हाई होना चाहिए और मेरा उन लोगों के ऊपर ट्रस्ट भी हाई होना चाहिए. बट मेरा उन पे ट्रस्ट हाई कैसे बनेगा? वो लोग कैसे सोचेंगे कि I have a high trust factor? that is called C plus R plus I divided by S. Trust factor is credibility. आप क्या बोल रहे हो? What are you saying? Is it correct or not? Reliability. What you are doing is correct or not? Intimacy. Intimacy का मतलब closeness, understanding. आपका relation अपनी टीम के साथ कैसा है? That is business intimacy, teaching intimacy, and of course self orientation. Self orientation का मतलब होता है आपका अपना स्वार्थ. आपका अपना स्वार्थ इस नौकरी में क्या है? अगर आपका हाई सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन है तो आप सिर्फ इस नौकरी में इसलिए है क्योंकि आपको पैसे कमाने हैं, और अगर आपका लो सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन है तो आप इस नौकरी में इसलिए है क्योंकि आपका उद्देश्य पढ़ाना है और पढ़ा के खुद भी कुछ सीखना है और दूसरों को भी कुछ सिखाना है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन. इट इज ईदर हाई वेयर पीपल हैव हाई ईगो, और इट इज वेरी लो वेयर पीपल हैव लो सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन. तो अगर आपके पास सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन लो है तभी आप एक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल लीडर बन सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपका ईगो तब निस्वार्थ ईगो होना चाहिए. दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज अ बेसिक ऑफ ट्रस्ट फैक्टर लीडरशिप, एंड दिस इज द बेसिक इक्वेशन दैट इज यूज्ड इन बिजनेस, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज अ ट्रस्ट फैक्टर क्वोशिएंट. यू कैन आल्सो गूगल इट. इसके बारे में थोड़ा और अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं कि क्रेडिबिलिटी क्या होती है. सो व्हाट इज क्रेडिबिलिटी? क्रेडिबिलिटी इज योर अपफ्रंट लिमिटेशन कि कल आप अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर भर के मुझे दे दोगे, तो आप बोलोगे नहीं मैडम मैं नहीं, अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर मेरा कल नहीं हो पाएगा, कल मैं ये काम कर रहा हूँ और उसके बाद मैं एक एक्स्ट्रा क्लास ले रहा हूँ, मैं 2 तारीख को ही अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर भरूंगा. ये था पॉसिबिलिटी कि आप ये बोलते कि हाँ मैं कल दे दूंगा, लेकिन आपकी क्रेडिबिलिटी ये है कि आपने बिल्कुल ऑनेस्टली ये बोला कि नहीं मैं नहीं दे सकता हूँ, ये पॉसिबल नहीं है, मैं परसों ही आपको अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर सबमिट करूंगा. रिलायबिलिटी का मतलब कंसिस्टेंसी. आप महीने की 1 तारीख को 2:30 बजे अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर आपके डिपार्टमेंट हेड के सामने पहुंच जाता है, और आपको ये सालों साल से कभी उन्होंने बोला नहीं कि आप मुझे ये रजिस्टर दो, वो तो 7 तारीख को करेक्ट करते हैं, और आपको भी किसी ने कभी ये नहीं बोला. ये आपका इंटरनल मोटिवेशन है कि आप हर 1 तारीख को 2:30 बजे अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर अपने हेड के सामने रखते हो. दैट इज कॉल्ड रिलायबिलिटी, जो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम में. इंटीमेसी, आपको आपका लीडर या आप एज अ लीडर कैसे आप ट्रस्ट करते हो कि जैसे अरे मैं बड़ा परेशान हूँ, आगे ये स्पोर्ट्स डे और ये यूनिट टेस्ट दोनों साथ में आ रहे हैं, कैसे होगा, क्या प्रॉब्लम होगा. आपका लीडर आपको बोल रहा है या आप अपने लीडर को बोल रहे हो कि मैं बड़ी परेशान हूँ, मेरे तो बच्चे की वो बर्थडे भी आ रहा है, उसी दिन स्पोर्ट्स डे आ रहा है, मैं सोच रही थी छुट्टी ले लूं और मेरे को अब मुझे कल पेपर भी बना के देना है. So when you have a intimacy that you can freely share your personal details with your organizational head, then it is called high intimacy level, and that also is a very very important trait of a good leader. Then your motive, your self orientation. How much are you interacting with other people with the intention of your own motivation? आप दूसरों से क्यों मिलते हो? क्या आप इसलिए मिलते हो क्योंकि आप दिस इज योर वर्क, और इसलिए मिलते हो कि आपको ये आपकी दिल की इच्छा है कि ये आपके अंदर की भावना है कि मुझे कुछ करना है. आपके अंदर की ड्राइव क्या है, विच इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन. सो रिमेम्बर कि सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट इसमें आपको क्या लगता है, कौन सी चीज सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है? ट्रस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्रेडिबिलिटी इंपॉर्टेंट है, रिलायबिलिटी इंपॉर्टेंट है, इंटीमेसी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन इंपॉर्टेंट है? कौन सी चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है? आप में से कोई बता सकता है?
Can you repeat self orientation once again, please?
Yeah. So self orientation is self awareness about me, my role, my goal, my work, मोटिव, जैसे ये असेंबली मैंने कराई, ये मैंने करी, इसका क्रेडिट खुद लेना। ये नहीं बोलना कि ये असेंबली अच्छी इसलिए हुई क्योंकि 6th स्टैंडर्ड की ये टीचर ने भी किया, पीटी सर भी मेरे साथ खड़े थे, थैंक यू टेक्निकल वाले लोगों ने भी माइक वाइक का अरेंजमेंट किया। जब आप पूरा क्रेडिट खुद लेते हो, जब ये मोटिव रहता है कि मैं आगे बढ़ूं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज हाई सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन। एंड लो सेल्फ ओरिएंटेशन इज जब आप बोलते हो कि आई एम अ टीम और मैं इस टीम का एक पर्सन हूँ और मेरा काम है कि मेरा उद्देश्य, मेरी भावना एक निस्वार्थ भावना है और आई एम नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन माई सेल्फ but I am focusing on the vision, on the goal that is in front of me. I am nothing. That is called as self-orientation here.
Okay. Thank you.
So can you tell me which is the most important thing here?
I think self-orientation is a must in any leadership.
Correct. Absolutely right. Because वो divide कर देता है आपकी credibility, आपकी reliability और आपके business connections. Everything is divided by self-orientation. You cannot get anywhere and everywhere saying having a higher self-image. If you have a high self-image, you are not into transformational leadership. Maybe you are a transactional leader, but you are not a transformational leader. And the world will know it. So, this is
Thank you.
something that, yeah, can I go on?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, what is the definition of leadership? That is, the definition is leadership is nothing but influence and voice. What is the key to leadership? Key to leadership is prioritizing and problem solving. So there is a problem in front of us and then we prioritize the problems and we solve it. And what is the ingredient that is required? The ingredient required is your integrity. कि ये मेरे लिए नहीं है, ये जो पैसा आ रहा है ये मेरा पैसा नहीं है, ये जो अच्छा काम हो रहा है, ये जो वाहवाही हो रही है ये मेरी नहीं है. This is the ingredient of leadership, that I am not doing this for any other goal but for my vision. Then you have a great, you are a strong person who has the courage and the integrity to follow it. And what is the test? The test of leadership is positive change or development. कोई भी leadership अगर full change नहीं लाती, तब तक it's not a considered change. Let's see these three people again. I've taken examples from teachers because I thought since we are from the education industry, we should stick to rather our kind of teachers. And APJ Abdul Kalam was a great leader. Radhakrishnan, as we have already discussed, and Rabindranath Tagore also, at a point where English were having all kind of missionary schools, and missionary schools were doing some great work, and convent schools are doing some great work even today. But Rabindranath had a dream of opening a school that had no classroom. There was a tree and he made them sit under a tree like a gurukul and he taught them. So it was a classroom without walls and children were free to do what they want to do. And there was no periodic timetable, unstructured school. And this man dreamt of this school so many years ago. Today, the school is one of the strongest, it is a great alumnus and one of the big Indian tradition. So, can we see how people are differently in transformational leadership? And when we say APJ Abdul Kalam, and we all know that he came from a very humble background and he studied under a lamppost and he became one of the topmost scientists and space research fellows in the world and in the country. He was dedicated to the cause of education like nobody else's business. He said, and in his book he writes that, dream a dream that is unachievable. Dream it and inspire to go and chase that dream. So these are one of the transformational leaders who tried changing the world around them. see a transformational leader, we see that they do individual mentoring a lot. So they have a strong support group of 10, 12, 50 people who are their mirrors. Like गांधी जी के जितने चेले थे वो उनके जैसे थे, वो उनके जैसे कपड़े पहनते थे, वो उनके जैसा खाना खाते थे, वो उनके जैसा काम करते थे. उनके 50-60 लोग उनके अपने माउथ पीस थे जो उनको पूरी तरीके से मिरर करते थे. So any strong leader will have mirror images ready. अपने जैसा बना दिया. Even for somebody like Nehru ji, who came from an affluent and a rich family, became a person who was a follower of Gandhi ji and became like Gandhi ji. Gave up work, khadi, went to jail for so many years, and became a person who was, completely his image, followed ahimsa. Then there are transformational leadership is always encouraging creativity. If you bring something new to the table, this is the person who will encourage you, who will support you, who will bring you up. कोई भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल लीडर ये नहीं बोलेगा कि नहीं तुमने गलत सोचा है, तुमको ठीक से सोचना ही नहीं आता. ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल लीडर नहीं बोलेगा. वो इस चीज को सेलिब्रेट करेगा कि कोई नई चीज टेबल पे आई है. ये बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है. हम हमेशा सोचते हैं कि कभी कोई इंसान जब बहुत बड़ा हो जाता है तो शायद वो हमारी बात को नहीं मानेगा. बट द मोर पीपल ग्रो इनटू लीडरशिप, द मोर ओपन दे बिकम टू encouragement of creativity. Then they have inspiring motivation. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि वो 3 घंटे की ब्रेक में जाते हैं और वो तब वो लीडर नहीं रहते. No, they are leader 24/7, 50 years of their life taking inspiring motivation, and they talk to you as motivators. They talk to you always. उनका हर काम, हर बात shows their dedication towards that goal, and they influence by leading. So nobody asked, how influenced by leading is. Take Lokmanya Tilak, for example, says something like, Swaraj is my birthright. And he said that. You did not say that. I did not say that. But today, we accept that as our own dialogue. We say, Swaraj, हमारा जन्म सिद्ध हक है. ये हम क्यों बोलते हैं? वो तो he said that and he went away and all that, but he has influenced us by a dialogue, and he has made it, he lived that, he fought for that, and he became a leader who led that thought process. और इसके लिए आज वो हमारा अपना है क्योंकि हम उस चीज से influence हो गए. So this is something that happens when you are into transformational leadership. There are 4 things that happen. There is an individual mentoring in place. There is an encouragement to creativity. There is a motivation, which is an inspirational motivation. And there is an influence of leading. They will show it to you how to lead. If they say something, वो करके दिखाते. अगर वो बोल रहे हैं कि मैं ये, I will do this. 28 years of jail for Nelson Mandela. Can you imagine 28 years? And so many years, I think 16 to 17 years of jail to even Nehru ji. How did these people become, how can you spend so much time? अगर कोई मुझे बोलेगा आपको जेल टाइम आपका कम कर देंगे, तो I will be a person who will think कि बाप रे जेल नहीं जाना पड़े, मैं क्या करूं? इच्छा अपने सबसे बेस्ट years जेल में बिता देना. Influence by leading, making your leadership a power. This is something that is taught by a transformational leader, and this is something that makes a transformational leader. Teacher leaders क्या होते हैं? क्या हम teachers होके भी leaders हो सकते हैं? These are the various places where you can do, change behaviors. In student achievement, in student behavior, you can help change that. You can change teaching behavior. जैसे how you teach, putting art integration in place, putting so many different theories in place for teaching behavior. You can change teacher-leader roles. You can play with your role. You can become a curriculum leader. You can become a content writer. You can become a cultural coordinator, and change in leadership behavior. You can become a thought leader for many different teachers. So there are आगे अगर मैं कभी वापस आई तो मैं टीचर लीडर्स पे बोलूंगी जो कि टीचर है, और टीचर लीडर्स का थॉट लीडर या थॉट लीडिंग एक्शंस क्या होते हैं मैं आगे कभी आई तो मैं I will definitely tell you more about it, because this is a completely different topic and requires your complete attention. But we can do something as teachers as leaders in the next or any upcoming session that I come with. Teachers are teachers that help you think about you. Always remember that. जो अपने बारे में सोचने में, जो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ अगर ये सोचने में आपको हेल्प करे, वो टीचर होते हैं. और जब आप मैं और अपने बारे में सोचते हैं तब आपकी सेल्फ अवेयरनेस बनती है, तब आपकी लीडरशिप स्किल सामने आती है. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am, for your very good speech on leadership skills. Now, after this keynote speech, the topic is open for questions. And so, I request participants, if you have any question, please ask.
I think my becoming a little blurred. I'll just 1 minute. Maybe the network is not supporting it.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, if experience is required to be a good leader?
No, there is no experience required to be a good leader. A good leader is always made by circumstances. A good leader is always a person who is an outcome of a certain change in the life. A good leader is never about experience. You can be a leader at 21. I work in technology, and one of our best leaders is a 23-year-old thought leader in robotic process automation. He's 22, 23, and he's hardly a graduate. And he's one of the leaders of the technology that is coming in, and he leads a team of 50 people. So he has 1 year experience, and his package is around 50 lakhs. So I can tell you with a lot of conviction that leadership, it does not come with experience, that आपको 15 साल का experience है तो आप एक अच्छे leader हो. Leadership is a very momentary exercise.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, how to be a servant leader? Like servant leadership, you said. So, how to inculcate and how to implement? Can you give some tips how to be a servant leader?
So, one of the things that a servant leader does is that, it's a very, very selfless process. You are one with your team. You are like a part of that team, and you are understanding every problem. You are continuously talking to your team and saying, how can I help you? जैसे कि today, my team said, we cannot make this. This is a very complicated data entry points. We cannot make some theory out of it. So I sat and I wrote the theory. It was not required for me to write, but I gave my 1 hour to write why is this important. So you become a part of the process. You don't say, go make, tomorrow you bring that list and you show me. You are a part of that process where you're saying, आपको कोई help चाहिए मुझसे तो आप मुझे बताओ. And then you are involved in the one-on-one basis, where your team is freely telling you that we cannot do this. We are unable to do this. Help me do this. So that is how you become a servant leader. Always keep the great example of Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa in front of you. Even though they are very, very big examples, they teach us that their people come first, and they have, even though they are revered around the world, Dalai Lama ji always makes time for his people wherever he is. So that way you have to make time, and you have to understand what your team is going through.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Is there anybody else with any more question, please?
Excuse me, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi.
My name is Winston S.H. Manspour.
Hi, Mr. Vincent.
And yes, hello, madam. I'm a teacher in Kumarswami Degree College. How is that some leaders are just born like that? And some have to become leaders after years of training and yet they fail. Do you believe that leaders can also be born? It's inherent in them to be a leader? I'd like your comment.
Yeah. So in the 1940s and 50s, and this is called the great man theory in our theoretical world and in scholastic and academia. It's called the great man theory. तो 40s और 50s में ये सोचते थे कि लीडर पैदा होता है, लीडर बनाया नहीं जाता, लीडर is born and a leader is never made. It comes, they have the blessing of the gods on him, and that is why he is a special person, and that is why he led us through the battles and all that. So that was the thinking, and slowly after that, in the 60s and 70s, something called as situational leadership walked into place. There, it is called as behavioral leaders became more important. If you are a dominating leader, or you are a supporting leader, or you are a coaching leader. That is the kind of theories that started coming out. Then it became about attitude. Whether you are, an appealing or you are an emotional leader, whether you are a servant leader. So every decade, leadership theory is changing in quantums. In quantums, leadership theory is changing. Now we know that with the current amount of leadership training, a leader can be made. A leader can be made with correct amount of training, precision, and yes, but the inner courage to take up a challenge, that courage is something that comes with the environment. And when I say environment, that means family setting, social setting, communal setting, childhood of that person. Whether the person is able to say, yes, I will lead 1,000 people. So, even though we know that now that leaders can be made, the only thing that is called as inner drive or inner courage comes from the family setting or the childhood, how leadership has met, how it has been transacted or has been in progression in childhood. How has the parent or how has the school, how has other things around him has affected him. Now we know.
Does upbringing play a big role? You're saying upbringing?
Yes, absolutely. Upbringing plays a great role in bringing up a leader, because upbringing is what gives you the inner inertia. जो एक push होता है, जो एक inertia होता है आगे बढ़ने का. I am brave enough to take up this challenge. I can do it. Also friend support, also peer support, also teacher support. Lot of things go into that inner courage. But we know now that training and only training and leadership training can bring forward more leaders. And that has to be a correct kind of training that the person needs. So yeah, personality trait of inner courage plus training.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Any more question from anybody?
Yeah, good evening here, Vidyasagar, please go on.
Yeah. One second, sir, Prakash. Yeah, one query. How can we develop the teacher leadership for the teacher training colleges? Because according to point of view, we have failed to promote the all teacher training in the all sectors, primary level, higher secondary level, and college level, etc. Because these are only the ornamental. So how can develop this teacher leadership in all these training colleges? Thank you.
So
Any example?
No, I think first of all, Sagarji, this is a very important question that we should all dwell on. This is a question that is important to all of us because we are training a generation. So unless and until we have leadership skills, our students will not have the leadership skills. And we have really failed in making our teachers leaders. And teacher leaders are very, very important in our society today because they have a very, very important role to play as leaders in their life. So I think that, how do we transform teachers? It is again putting training in place. It is again making them understand the idea of, what is influence, what is social skills, what is power skill, how to be confident to lead, how to be confident in areas where they are underperforming. So it can be it can be subjective, and it can also have a vast area of work that needs to be done. But there are two things that we need to understand in leadership. एक तो है कोर स्किल्स क्या है आपकी, कि आपका कोर स्किल है कि आपको एकेडमिक, सपोज आप एक 5th स्टैंडर्ड के इंग्लिश टीचर हो, या आप एक बीकॉम फर्स्ट ईयर के प्रोफेसर लेक्चरर हो और आप एक सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा रहे हो, ओके, एंड और मे बी यू आर अ 5th स्टैंडर्ड टीचर. सो द कोर स्किल इज दैट यू हैव टू transact education, and you have to teach people, and there you have to again become a leader to show the students that you have leadership qualities. And leadership qualities can be influence, can be social skills, can be good communicator, good guide, good motivator, good player, a good team worker. And then the teacher is out of the classroom, and then there is something called as power skills, which is power leadership skills, where the teacher is talking to the department, the teacher is presenting something to the other people, vertical learning takes place, horizontal learning takes place. So there are many, many avenues where a teacher is required to be a leader inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And we need to work on this systematically. It is not, एक दवाई से आपका बुखार उतर जाएगा, आपका इन्फेक्शन कम हो जाएगा. No, it requires a very long dialogue in core skills and power skills for leadership in education. So both ways we have to see. When we see a teacher, we have to see inside the classroom leadership and outside the classroom leadership also. So a lot of things come into play in that, and yes, a lot of work is required here to at least make teachers very, very have a leadership attitude within the classroom. Within the classroom, टीचर ये नहीं बोल सकती कि सब अपना अपना काम करो, मुझे नहीं पता, कर लिया होमवर्क, क्या करूं. This is not the kind of idea that a leader ever has. A leader talks in a very different tone. A leader is a transformational leader, whether he or she is inside the classroom or outside the classroom. Therefore, it requires a bigger and a better dialogue. If I continue my association with Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, I'll definitely come and speak on teacher as leaders, so that we talk more about हमको टीचिंग में लीडर्स बनाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए.
Anybody else? Any more question, please?
Thank you so much, everyone.
Very informative keynote speech, illustrative keynote speech. Thank you, ma'am, for this. And after the keynote speech and question answer session, now we are here to hear concluding words of the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I request the chairperson to present his concluding words. Please, sir.
Thank you, Professor Karad sir, and today's resource person RIMA madam, all the organizing team committee members including Vice Principal SD Misal sir, IQC coordinator Sanjay Kale sir, also daily joining members Prashant Ugade sir, both the supervisors of our college, Karanje sir, Udge sir, Dr. Jamuntra Kadam sir, Anita Dhole madam, Professor K.N. Kadam sir, and all the joint members from our college and out of college like N.B. Chaudhary sir, who is Vice Principal, Principal Sonone sir, Nilima Dikshit madam, Joshi madam, Jalveer Singh sir. Also today discussed all the participants, Vidyasagar sir, Prashant Ugade sir. Today's topic was the leadership skills. In this webinar series, as madam appreciated our efforts, thank you for that. You are the part of this webinar series as per our request, and we are filing this webinar series as a Limca book record on 15th June. So that it's because of all the resource person like you, those who have presented here for our participant, really new topic, new type of skills of presentation. Actually leadership was also explained by few resource person, but every topic is having different skills of presentation, and your leadership skills topic was very nice with examples of the world known leaders, their efforts with formulas, experiences. Everything was very nicely presented by you, ma'am. Before that, when we communicated on LinkedIn, I didn't think that you should join here in time. Lastly, you said that before 2 days you informed me. At that time I was saying that she is not willing to join, but actually you accepted our invitation, joined perfectly and delivered very nicely for this. Thank you madam from our all organizing team, and in future also we will invite you for the teacher leadership. As we have said, it's a special topic for you. We invite again you for the next topic. Thank you madam.
Thank you so much everyone. I have taken a lot of time, so I'll be leaving you now. Thank you so much, and we will connect much more.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks again everyone. Thank you. Thank you for making a part of the journey. Thanks.
Just wait for vote of thanks, madam, please.
On behalf of Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I am here to present vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank today's honorable keynote speaker, RIMA ma'am, who has accepted the invitation of our college and graced us with a wonderful keynote speech on the topic leadership skills. The topic was very illustrative. Lot of examples were given, and also leadership qualities were described. The definition of leadership has been given. Every aspect of the topic has been cleared, and all of us have understood it very well. It will be useful for all of us and also to inspire. So on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I sincerely thank you ma'am for your very useful keynote speech. After that, there was question answer session. The soul of the webinar series, the participants who joined very punctually, listen very patiently, and take active part in the question answer session. And they are the people who are making this webinar series very successful. So thank you participants. I also thank the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir, who is the mastermind behind this webinar series, who is an inspiration for us. He works effort continuously to make the series successful. So I thank you sir. I also thank Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, who has given a very good introduction of today's keynote speaker. And now I request participants, please fill feedback link to have your certificate. And at the end, with the permission of chief organizer, I announce here that today's webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Bedkar sahib.